I am Rasho Katabas here with you for the discussion on the topic how to find balance in a digital world. Regarding this topic, I have some queries for the artificial intelligence. My first query is what does digital balance mean in today's fast-paced world?
Yeah, so digital balance is really all about managing how much time and energy we spend on our devices versus offline activities. In today's fast paced world, it's about finding that healthy middle ground so that technology is enhancing our lives without overwhelming it.
Okay, why is finding balance between online and offline life important?
Yeah, it's definitely important. It's all about making sure we don't get too glued to our screens and have time for other things that matter.
Okay, how has excessive screen time affected mental and emotional well-being? It is very important question. Explain it briefly.
Absolutely. It's a really important question. Excessive screen time can sometimes lead to things like increased anxiety or sleep issues because it's easy to lose track of time and it can definitely affect our emotional balance. So finding that healthy balance is really key.
Okay, what are the signs that technology use has become unethical, unhealthy?
Yeah, sure. So some signs might be when you start feeling anxious if you're away from your devices, or you're having trouble sleeping, or you're noticing that it's really cutting into your personal time or your relationships. Those are all signals that maybe the tech use has gotten a little out of balance.
Okay, how can social media impact our sense of balance and self-worth?
Well, social media can sometimes create this kind of highlight reel effect where we're just seeing the best parts of everyone else's lives. That can sometimes lead us to compare ourselves and maybe feel like we're not measuring up, which can affect our self worth. So it's really important to remember that what we see on social media is just one part of the story.
Okay, what role does mindfulness play in managing digital habits?
Mindfulness is a huge help because it just makes us more aware of how we're using our devices and when. So when we're mindful, we can pause and really think about whether we want to spend that extra hour scrolling or if we want to do something else. It basically helps us keep our digital habits in check.
Okay, how can individuals set healthy boundaries with technology?
One of the best ways is to set simple boundaries, like having tech free zones at home or setting time limits for social media. It's really about being intentional and deciding in advance how and when you want to use your devices so that they don't end up using you.
Okay, what strategies help reduce digital distractions at work or study?
Sure thing. So, a good strategy is to use things like focus modes or do not disturb settings on your devices so you can really carve out some distraction free time. Also, just taking regular breaks and maybe even having a little plan for when you'll check your phone can really help keep those digital distractions in check.
Okay, how does constant connectivity affect focus and productivity?
Well, constant connectivity can really fragment our focus because we end up getting all these little notifications and distractions that pull us away from what we're actually trying to do. Over time, that can definitely impact productivity because it's harder to get into that deep work mode. So sometimes creating a bit of intentional offline time can help us stay more productive.
Okay, how can digital practices improve overall well-being?
Taking a digital detox now and then can really help recharge our mental batteries. It gives us a chance to connect with the offline world, maybe spend more time in nature or with loved ones. And that can really lower stress and just improve overall well being.
Okay, what responsibilities do tech companies have in promoting digital well-being?
Yeah, definitely. A lot of companies are stepping up by encouraging employees to take tech breaks or setting specific hours where there are no emails or messages expected. Some even offer mindfulness training or digital wellness programs. So it's really about creating a healthier balance and making sure people feel supported in unplugging sometimes.
Okay, how can families encourage healthy technology habits at home?
One of the best ways is to create some family-wide tech-free times, maybe like during meals or for an hour before bedtime. It sets a good example for kids and it lets everyone have a little break from screens to connect with each other or just unwind.
Okay, how does technology influence sleep patterns and daily routines?
Well, technology can definitely play a big role in disrupting sleep, especially all that blue light from screens that can mess with our body's natural rhythms and make it harder to fall asleep. And when our routines get tied to, checking devices late at night, it can definitely shuffle around how we sleep and how we feel the next day.
Okay, or what tools or apps can help manage screen time effectively?
There are quite a few handy apps out there in 2025 that help manage screen time really effectively. For example, apps like Freedom work across multiple devices to block distracting apps and websites. There's an app called One Sec that forces you to pause and take a deep breath before you open certain apps, and that can help break those automatic habits. And then there's Forest, which turns staying focused into a little game where you grow a virtual tree the longer you stay off your phone. And of course, both iOS and Android have built-in tools like screen time and digital well-being that have become pretty powerful for managing your screen habits as well.
Okay, how can people balance remote work with personal life?
A great way to balance remote work and personal life is to set really clear boundaries. So maybe having a dedicated workspace where work happens, and then when you step away from that space, you're back in your personal life. Also, setting specific work hours and actually sticking to them helps keep that balance so that work doesn't kind of spill over into your downtime. It's all about having a bit of structure and giving yourself permission to unplug.
Okay, how can technology be used mindfully rather than compulsively?
Well, one way to use technology mindfully is just be intentional about when and why you're using it. Maybe setting specific times for checking social media or emails rather than just doing it out of habit. You could also use apps that encourage mindfulness, like meditation apps or tools that remind you to take breaks. It's all about making conscious choices so that tech serves you rather than the other way around.
Okay, what are the challenges of staying balanced in a hyper-connected world?
One big challenge is just how easy it is to be constantly plugged in. We've got notifications, messages, and updates coming at us from all angles, and it can be tough to carve out that quiet space for ourselves. Another challenge is that there's often this sort of pressure to be available all the time, whether it's for work or social reasons, which can make it hard to really switch off. So it's all about finding ways to set those boundaries and give yourself permission to step back when you need to.
Okay, how does constant news consumptions affect emotional health?
Well, constant news consumption can definitely take a toll on emotional health because it can keep us in this sort of heightened state of alert. There's always something happening, and a lot of the news cycle can be quite negative or stressful. So it can lead to feelings of anxiety or just feeling overwhelmed. It's really important to take breaks and maybe limit how often you're checking the news so that you can protect your emotional well being a bit more.
Okay, what habits support a healthier relationship with technology?
One good habit is to create tech-free zones, like maybe keeping phones out of the bedroom so you can wind down more easily. Another great habit is just scheduling regular breaks from screens, maybe going for a walk or doing something offline during the day. And it helps to be mindful about what you're consuming. So maybe choosing content that leaves you feeling uplifted or inspired rather than drained. It's all about being intentional with your tech use.
Okay, Uh, uh, Viewers, I hope this discussion will be fruitful for you. Thank you